Thruster heavy, couldn't be simpler. Here's your tail of the tape, presented by Wild Health. I don't know who's got the edge here.
Well, I think there's a little bit for both to be excited about. I mean, this is a different type of run, right? You know, obviously the starting and stopping and the changing of directions. Pat loves burpees and pull-ups. He typically does well at those in open workouts. And then Roman is just so strong and such a good runner. So how are these two things going to blend together and see who can rise to the occasion?
Well, let's find out. Let's get this thing kicked off. Down to the competition floor. Competition director Adrian Bosman.
10 seconds. Three, two, one, go!
Khrennikov and Vellner head-to-head here in 23.2 Part A. 15 minutes of burpee pull-ups and shuttle runs. We start with the 5 burpee pull-ups into 10 shuttle runs, and we will add 5 burpee pull-ups every round with the shuttle runs remaining the same. And right away, both athletes deciding to jump right into that pull-up.
Yeah, and an immediate technique that's both of them are using, obviously dropping to the deck to get their chest down, but both doing that gather step up. So stepping one foot up, gathering to be able to jump immediately up into the pull-up bar. They're not getting to that hang position. They're catching with bent arms and just continuing to pull through. For these elite athletes that have that upper body strength, they have that strength endurance, they can maintain that for most of the workout.
Both Vellner and Khrennikov now with just 5 reps remaining in this opening round.
Well, any secret about strategy from Rich got thrown out from the window on that last mic'd up. Maybe gave away a few secrets. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Pat lead from the front here. You know, you talk about the back and forth and the change of direction here. Pat played lacrosse growing up. And in Canada, they play a lot of box lacrosse. What that involves is a lot of short sprints, a lot of change of direction, a lot of planting, a lot of zigzagging. It's very tight quarters. So that type of running is something he has done a ton of growing up.
And now 10 burpee pull-ups before another set of 10 shuttle runs. And we're not even 2 minutes in yet to this 15-minute opening part. Back-to-back test here in 23.2 A and B.
And on the inverse of that, Roman is such a good runner, but I think what really benefits him is having some of these longer runs where he can get out in front and challenge people to a heavier pace, find a rhythm with his foot cadence, his stride, really leverage his lungs.
Vellner maintaining that lead that he built in round 1, just about 1 length of the floor ahead of Roman Khrennikov here.
He's also got probably 20 pounds on Pat, and take it from another fellow big guy. Starting and stopping and changing direction takes on a new meaning.
It's hard to reach full speed in 25 feet when you're 220. You're in a constant state of slowing down.
Well, and that's why foot cadence and foot technique, the footwork and the turnaround point and your first few steps out of the break are important.
Vellner needs to get to the 35 rep mark to end round 2 here. So now just 2 shuttle runs remaining, and going to keep repeating it, but down and back. That is 1 rep.
I spoke to Boz about this earlier, and in testing, he said based on the pace that most people are able to hold, the shuttle runs were taking about a minute, and he thought that, someone would get past maybe the 35, maybe into the 40 burpee pull-ups if they really kept the throttle down full speed.
Both Vellner and Khrennikov into round 3 here.
See both athletes dropping that gather step up. Very little wasted movement there. One of the things I love that Boz said earlier is that, this is new to competition, but it's not new to CrossFit. The fairly well-known CrossFit benchmark, G.I. Jane, it's been around forever. 100 burpee pull-ups for time. It was first posted as a WOD demo on the main site, way back in 2007, July 19th to be exact. Done at the original OG CrossFit Santa Cruz gym. And then even more recent years, you have hero workouts like Clovis, where you have a 10-mile run and 150 burpee pull-ups for time.
Well, Roman is now tied Pat Vellner as they take off on their 3rd set of shuttle runs. At the 60 rep mark, they will be done with this third round and move into round 4. And we're not even a third of the way through this 15-minute window.
You notice the difference? Roman is always facing the same side every time when he touches. You know, so some people do that in box jump overs as well. We always try to face the same side. That way you're not spinning in circles. For some people, you know, that can be a little discombobulating. Looks like Pat is always turning to his left. Well, for Roman, what it does, it also switches the hand that he's touching with each time. He's talking about how many times you have to hinge with each one of these shuttle runs. Switching up from side to side can maybe spread the effects of the load out from either side.
We are now into round 4, 20 burpee pull-ups before another set of 10 shuttle runs, and Khrennikov and Vellner are neck and neck.
Roman's starting to pick up the pace a little bit.
And one more look at 23A and 23.2B, presented by Chipotle. We are in part A right now, adding 5 burpee pull-ups every round, and then at the 15-minute mark, we go into the 1 rep max thruster, and that barbell needs to be taken from the floor. Khrennikov and Vellner now with just 7 reps, now 6 reps remaining before they close out this set of 20. And once again, no standard on the grip. You can mix, you can go underhand, you can go overhand, you can jump into the pull-up, you can kip. You just got to get your chin over that bar.
This crowd is just pumping. They showed up about 45 minutes before and started filling out the place, and the energy has just been nonstop. I mean, it's truly a testament to the community that they've built here at CrossFit Bison.
Now Roman Khrennikov with his first lead in this matchup. Fourth set of 10 shuttle runs for both athletes. 7 minutes have gone by. 90 reps is the mark that they need to get to close out this round. And now Vellner starting to gain a little ground here on the shuttle run. Roman Khrennikov, the second fittest man on earth last year, who really made things interesting in that battle with Justin Medeiros, especially late in the competition.
For years, we've been talking about how much we had wished that Roman could be at the games and finally get the travel visa issue sorted because of the potential that we saw based on his performances and competitions out of season. And, you know, finally getting that moment this past year in Madison, it was everything as advertised. You know, winning events at the games, pushing for the top spot in that battle with not just Justin, but Ricky as well. And obviously there's the heartfelt moment with finally being able to have his wife and his son here. You know, he met his son for the first time at the games in the days leading up to it. I mean, you couldn't write a better script for that. And now we're getting to see him flourish, you know, getting to train each day, solely focused on competing, not worrying about all the extracurriculars outside, about his travel, about his visa, and whether or not his family will be able to join him.
115 reps is the mark that these men need to reach on this set of 25 burpee pull-ups before they will embark on another 10 shuttle runs. And they are neck and neck. Each man has led here in this matchup.
We're seeing a little back and forth here in that last round. Roman started to pull ahead during the burpee pull-ups. Pat reeled him in during the run. They're pretty much in lockstep now.
Rich Froning looking on. It's about 2 feet in front of us here.
I mean, as this time domain starts to stretch, if you're Pat, I think you're just happy to stay on Roman's hip and hope that, you know, as we start to get closer, you can give one last burst and maybe clip him at the line.
6 reps remaining in the set of 25 for both men. Final 3, and then 10 more shuttle runs here.
And, I mean, you just want a clinic on how to do these burpee pull-ups and keep an honest pace. And these guys have been tremendous so far. Just every rep looking almost the same.
10 more shuttle runs, and remember, you have to have that 3-point touch on each end, except when you finish. You can just cross the finish line. There's Pat's coach, Michel Letendre, keeping an eye on his pace. .125 on the rep counter will signify the end of round number 5. Then it's 30 burpee pull-ups. So now things really getting serious. It's still dead even between Khrennikov and Vellner.
Interesting how the order and the push from each one of these athletes basically flipped from round to round. You know, Roman made a push on the burpees, Pat reeled him in on the run. Then this last round, Pat made a push on the burpees. Now Roman started to reel him in on the run. Man, you talk about 2 of the best athletes in the sport doing a workout like this where you're looking right, you're like, man, this guy just won't let up. I really want to slow down, but you can't.
Round 6, 30 burpee pull-ups. 3.5 minutes left here in part A of 23.2, and after this we move on to the 5-minute window to establish that 1 rep max thruster.
You see Pat's hand placement on the far side of the screen. He's going for a really wide elbow. His elbow's flared out. Very different than like a traditional push-up position, or even where most people might put their hands to do their burpees. Could be trying to change up the stimulus a little bit and save the shoulders, because you're going to need them on the thrusters in just a few minutes. He's been doing that basically since the beginning.
Roman has now about a 1 rep lead on Vellner here on the burpee pull-ups. 155 reps is what they need to complete before they get back out on the shuttle runs. Any chance of putting up a top score.
This is one of those tests that's just mind-numbing, right? Like, it seems so easy in theory, drop down, jump up.
And to your point, those little things add up. And he mentioned that too, is that if you are not jumping into your pull-ups, that is going to add up significantly as you move your way through this test. Now 90 seconds remain, and Roman Khrennikov has widened his lead on Patrick Vellner here in this late stage of the opening window. Khrennikov is off on his shuttle runs, and Vellner still has 4 burpee pull-ups to go. Less than a minute to go, and now Vellner's going to try to make up some ground on Khrennikov.
But that pause there, after that first length of the shuttle run, you can tell Pat's in the pain cave here, but about 45 seconds left. Body's starting to feel a little jelly.
But he's cut into that lead a little bit here. Once Roman gets to 165, he's going to be able to add some burpee pull-ups to his total, and now we're inside 30 seconds to go. Khrennikov back to the pull-up bar.
3, 2, 1, time.
And that will do it for part A. Roman Khrennikov unofficially 168. And we'll see where Pat Vellner got. But I think he may have finished up. His shuttle runs.
An impressive performance there at the end with Roman really showcasing his aerobic capacity and endurance in those final few minutes. You know, that last set of 10 shuttle runs only took him 1:12. You know, we talked to Boz that most people are a little bit over a minute in testing. So even at the end of this workout, after all the work that he's done, he's really not falling off the pace that much. He's able to maintain a consistent pace in those shuttle runs. And by the end, that was the difference because they were so close.
Now this is interesting. Two very different approaches here to the opening lift. Roman's just going to feel out 135 here.
What we heard from Rich being mic'd up in the back, you know, just do 135 or 185 or something, right? Just grease that groove. It's not more so to just kind of get those muscles firing and get used to it because you're going to have plenty of time to get the attempts that you want it. Now, Pat opting for 230.
And that will count. So Roman is going to jump up to 225.
A little perspective here. Back in 2011, when we had the thruster ladder, the top lift, 325 from Danny Nichols, who was competing on TJ's gym in San Rafael.
225 for Roman. That is easy.
That looks really easy. Yeah, Danny Nichols had the top lift. He was part of the team competition. Top individuals, Nate Schrader, Jason Khalipa, Asia Barto, each hit 285 back in 2011.
Vellner jumping up to 255, and you can get help with your barbell here as far as loading it is concerned. And you can have a loaded barbell waiting for you at the end of your 15-minute window from part A. So Vellner now to 255. That is good. Now Roman Khrennikov going all the way up to 275.
That looked close. Looked like his leg buckled as he stepped forward.
And Khrennikov has it.
That looked pretty darn good for 275. I don't know about you, Sean. I've never stood it up that easy.
Now just 2 minutes remaining here in this window.
See Pat putting on some wrist wraps. You know, especially if you're squat cleaning this, you know, used to doing a full clean and kind of letting the grip go a little bit to get that better rack position with the elbows up. Because you have to press it up out of the bottom, you got to get that kind of like in between, almost like that half and half front rack position. Puts a little bit more stress on the wrists.
And 90 seconds left. Here goes Vellner at 270. Just can't lock it out. Plenty of time to make another run. Roman Khrennikov at 295.
Oof.
And that is good for Roman Khrennikov, 295.
Looks like Pat.
And Vellner will hit it. So 30 seconds to go. Looks like Roman's going to go again here.
And the bar just needs to be off the ground. It needs to be in motion before the 5-minute cap for it to count.
Vellner is going to go to 275, so 300 for Roman Khrennikov. 10 seconds to go. Rich Froning getting in on the act here as well.
3, 2, 1.
Pat just cannot lock out 275.
So
the two of them swinging for the fences there at the end. But Roman Khrennikov's going to get 295 on the board, and Pat Vellner at 270. I mean, the fact that these guys are lifting those weights at this fatigue level.
Yeah, you know, I mentioned the weights lifted, I don't know, a decade ago. That was under much different circumstances. You know, you only had to do that lift. You got a full ladder to run up and get primed for those heavier barbell. You hadn't done 15 minutes of burpee pull-ups and shuttle runs beforehand.
Going to be a clean sweep for Roman Khrennikov here in his matchup with Pat Vellner, and he can